Next up on Ask the Minister, this question. I want to hear your take on ableism among alternative-minded folks. Magical thinking about how consciousness can cure anything, including congenital defects. I hear you never know what is possible, and it drives me nuts. I'm with you. Drives me nuts too. Let's talk about ableism first. So ableism is prejudice and discrimination aimed at disabled people. And this is where we define individuals by their disabilities, and I'm air quoting disabilities, I'll get to that later, and we see them as inherently inferior to non-disabled people. So folks with physical and visible disabilities often bear the brunt of this, but there are many invisible disabilities as well. We have neurodivergent issues, we got internal health issues that may not manifest externally, and those folks tend to be either overlooked or invalidated. And ableism comes with this idea of we need to fix these folks, we need to cure them from their disability and make them normal. And this is where we kind of have a little bit of a dark side of religion and spirituality. When the person who sent in the question said alternative-minded folks, I'm assuming she means folks who are in the spiritual New Thought tradition. This spun off from Christian Science in the late 1800s, and it includes movements like Centers for Spiritual Living, Divine Science, Universal Foundation for Better Living, Unity, of which I am ordained in. And one of the central teachings is that God is not a person, but God is principle or mind with a uppercase M. And when we align ourselves, our consciousness, our thoughts, beliefs, actions, the fullness of who we are, when we align ourselves with that, then there's nothing we can't achieve or manifest. That we are both generative, we are creative, and we can cure any ailment, because illnesses are human conditions, but wholeness is a divine condition. So if we are not living or manifesting wholeness, therefore we've got some work to do. That's the teaching. The eventual conclusion we get to, again, is that if there's someone experiencing a less than perfect life condition, they're either not applying the teachings well enough, or that there's people who need to intercede on their behalf. I think you can see the problems with this. First of all, we're blaming someone for their condition. I like to call that metaphysical malpractice. As in, if you're going through this experience, what's in your consciousness? What's in your thoughts? What's in your beliefs that made this happen? And therefore, it's up to you to kind of like reverse engineer and therefore use, again, thoughts and beliefs to fix what's going on with you and in your life. The other issue with this is that we are, again, replicating this hierarchy that we've created around those who are well and able-bodied are somehow better than those who are not, and we need to change the condition of those who are not, precluding that folks might be happy with the way they are and there's nothing to fix. So there's that. A third issue with this is that it absolutely bypasses any systemic issues that further discriminate and isolate folks who may be struggling with health conditions. So the question becomes, what do we do about this? First of all, realize that we love to create hierarchies. This is what we do as human beings. And we've created hierarchies around abilities as well. We do it around race, we do it around gender. Some are better than others. So are there really disabilities, or are there just varieties of the human experience that we have ranked? I'll say that again. Are there really disabilities, or are there varieties of the human experience that we have ranked? And we've said some are better than others, and that the others need to be fixed and made normal because those of us higher up are uncomfortable with just seeing them exist. So that's the thing we've got to ask ourselves as individuals. And then we have to ask ourselves, how much have we been using our spiritual teachings to reinforce that idea? So what if wholeness this spiritual idea doesn't mean that we need to physically manifest some perfect condition, because as we can see, perfection has been decided by those who place themselves at the top of the ranking. What if wholeness simply means that all the varieties of the human condition are good, are okay? There's nothing we need to do to fix them because they're not broken. We just need to embrace and accept. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying if you have a medical condition and you want to seek medical intervention, by all means go ahead. But when it comes to things like physicality, gender, age, race, there's not one group that's better than the other. That's the basis of discrimination. So are we willing to look at our spiritual teachings and examine if are there any inherently discriminatory messages in them, or the way they've been interpreted and taught reinforce again the systems of oppression? I wrote an article about this called Decolonizing New Thought. You can find that at unity.org/articles/decolonizing new thought. And if you want to talk some more about this, visit revogan.net. You can find ways to reach out and connect with me. Leave a donation if this has been helpful. Let me know your thoughts.